Well, I was actually working in Regina with the Saskatchewan Construction Association. I'd been there 9 years when the position of president of the BC Construction Association came up. So I was fortunate enough to, I applied. Many of the folks in the organization here knew me, knew my background, and knew my track record in Saskatchewan because I'd worked with them through the Canadian Construction Association. So it was an opportunity. I remember phoning my wife, who was working with the province of Saskatchewan. She's the chief court official in the province. And I said, hey, this thing's open up in BC. And Victoria, what do you think? And she said, what do you mean, what do you think? So we were thrilled. We were really thrilled to get the opportunity. Came out mid-December, was interviewed by the executive team at BCCA, and it took a couple of weeks to get the deal put together. And I wrapped up some work that I was doing in Saskatchewan there. We had a major project, a reorganization project, and I started in Victoria. It'll be 13 years next week, the 1st of March in 2004. The association had been through some turmoil. It had gone through two of its leaders in a short period of time. The fellow that preceded me did not make his probation period. He'd made some comments on the radio that were not appropriate in regards to one of the NDP MLAs, and so they were in a bit of turmoil. The way I've described it, with no disrespect, the organization had had kind of lost its confidence. I think some folks in the industry had lost its confidence, and there had been some issues with the direction the government was going that was interpreted as them being somewhat anti-liberal government. And so my biggest challenge, frankly, was to reestablish a working relationship with government. Government relations were a big piece of it. And I'm the new guy. I was the new guy, new on the block, no record here in terms of government relations, and it was challenging. We had to establish ourselves. We had to create, our identity and our purpose. And so I approached this in a simple way. I said we need to be reasonable, we need to be relevant, and we need to be a resource to government. And so all of the measures that I put into place that we created around workforce development and advocacy of whatever level of advocacy, it was always structured around those three positions, that we needed to be reasonable in our approach, we needed to be a resource to government, and that proved very, very effective over time. It took time. I think there's probably three, and some might think I'm being, a bit boastful, but I'm going to give you the three. Number one relates to the association. It's a powerful organization today. It has a presence in the industry. People in government know who we are. People in industry know who BCCA is, and it's a respected voice. So I think that's really primary. It's a powerful force in the industry here in British Columbia. The second one is around workforce development, and so the Skilled Trades Employment Program, and we've had a few iterations around that, but the Skilled Trades Employment Program literally is unique in British Columbia. This method of running a demand-side approach to finding work for people in the industry, but not just finding them jobs, but getting them started on careers. It's unique in the country, and it works so effectively. One of the things that makes me so proud about it is that over the years, there's been about 15,000 people who've gone through that program, many of whom were not working, many of whom were on welfare, but we were able to give them an opportunity to work with an employer, to get a job. We provided supports to them to get them into a career in the industry. And we know from our checkbacks that roughly 80% of those people still work in the industry. So that's a big piece for me. That the ability to be able to influence and assist people in their everyday lives, to get them started in a job, I think has been great. And then I guess the third piece is all around government relations and what I'd spoken to earlier around getting some of the ways, getting some things fixed in the way the procurement processes work in the province, and having a platform like the Deputy Minister's Infrastructure Forum is absolutely critical. So, I'm leaving an organization that's in very good shape, and I'm absolutely thrilled with Chris Atchison, who's taking my place. Chris is a seasoned vet in terms of program development, program delivery. He's worked in BCCA. I hired him about 16 months ago, so we brought him in as a provincial manager of one of our programs. He's got excellent people skills. He's well respected in government, and in many ways he's a much smarter guy than I ever thought I was in terms of organizational development and just the ability to run a good, strong organization. So I'm absolutely thrilled with not just the prospect of some retirement, but the prospect that the organization is going to continue on.